Hello and welcome to HC Movie Talk. I am your host, Dean's Beans, and as always, I'm joined by my great friend, my wonderful co-host, Harley Darley. How are you?
That is not my name.
That's what Will told me to call you.
Did he really? I think that's a lie.
It's 100% true.
You're lying to me.
Okay, well, anyway, this is Harlan. He's also known as Fluffy Doffy.
Thank
And
you.
basically, what I've brought you here today to tell you,
I'm honored to be here today. Thank you for having me
I've
on.
brought you here today because I've got something really important to tell you.
What?
That I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
Is this a new bit you're gonna do? Is
What?
this a new one?
No, I have. I hadn't. I workshopped a couple new ones, and none of them worked. So the other one is ah, talk
Don't
about
do it.
Galaxy
Don't.
3. Do you realize that we're floating in space? But that
I
one's a
thought
bit too vague. What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were gonna go like um uh gimme. That's what I thought you were going to
Okay.
do.
Well, anyway, this is already a rambling start. We are here, of course, to talk about the latest and greatest MCU film, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume Tres.
Yes.
Oh.
We have had long discussions
Mm-hmm.
on why we believe the Guardians of the Galaxy to be the best MCU films.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's been a couple that have come out since we've last spoken about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's still leave ignoring Guardians 3? Like prior to that, do you still think Guardians of the Galaxy was the best MCU
Guardians of the
franchise?
Galaxy is my favorite MCU movie. Yes.
Okay.
Would you say
Um,
the same?
yes.
Okay.
Have you watched my review that I posted on TikTok about it?
I always avoid your review.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
no. When I knew no, we're going to talk about them on the podcast.
Silly. Okay. So I think first of all, I
Oh no.
think
Sorry, you continue.
for the next couple of minutes is going to be spoiler free, but we're going to get into spoilers pretty quick. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're not interested about that, I would set a timer for like 5 minutes and then head out.
Well, we'll warn you.
Yeah, we will warn. What just starting off,
Can I ask
what do you
you
give this movie out of
first?
10?
Uh,
What? No, go ahead.
do you like pina coladas?
Getting lost in the
Getting,
rain.
getting lost in the rain, or the feel of the ocean, or the taste of champagne? Do you love making love? Right. I need to stop doing this. Okay. Out of 10, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. On Letterbox, I think I'm going to give it a 4.5.
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yes, that translates. I think I agree.
Yeah. Um,
Somewhere between 8.5 and 9.5.
I think so. My next question is: Marvel's kind of been in
Slump.
a slump.
Mhm.
Do you think that this movie is enough to bring Marvel out of its slump, or do you think like this is an anomaly?
I think it is an anomaly, but it's enough to keep me interested.
It's enough to keep me interested too. It's interesting because like box office predictions, I don't know where people get those numbers, but this is not expected to do very well.
Yeah. It's pre-sales and stuff like that largely.
And I also I feel like when it comes to these Marvel movies, I always feel like I haven't seen a lot of advertising for it. But that's also because like once the first trailer comes out, I go out of my way to avoid any like TV
Yeah.
spots
Yeah, I
because
keep getting a lot of TV spots before about like Adam Warlock and Baby Rocket, and I know I'll see the first 5 seconds. I'm like, nope.
yeah, because Marvel, I think early Marvel, they were almost like respected for not giving anything away in the trailers. Do you remember that era?
I no, I think they still are because they do highly edit their trailers, and like I think that I do think that I think they're good at not putting stuff in trailers. I think DC is where the issue is when they show Wonder Woman in a Shazam trailer
Yeah, that's true.
and they show Super and they tell you Superman's going to be in Black Adam a couple of weeks before.
I think I just like a part of me that just doesn't like watching trailers in general because then when I see that in the movie, I'm like, oh, that I've already seen that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Okay.
So,
So, um, before getting into spoilers again, where does this rank in terms of the trilogy?
I think it's. I don't know. So can I? Okay, I told you a bit of this. I haven't told you the full extent of my rewatch I've done.
Go for it.
In the past week or so, I've watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, as you must.
Hmm.
I also have watched Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame.
And the holiday special.
I've also watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Does not stop there.
And
I've
Thor: Love and
watched
Thunder.
Thor Love and Thunder. Does not stop there. I watched the What If episodes
Whoa.
of the Guardians of the Galaxy and does not stop there. I watched I Am Groot on Disney Plus.
So I only watched for this movie, I watched two Guardians movies in the holiday special.
Yeah, that's I wanted to watch the Avengers because I was kind of like
A lot does happen
a
there.
lot, yeah, and yeah, I wanted to watch them, and then this morning I was like, I don't really have anything to do, and I was like, should I watch What If? I was like, yeah, I'll watch. And the episodes were better. I think What If was better than and then I was like, oh, maybe would be a good thing for looking back. And then I was like, well, we could just do other animated shows in general because we never really thought about that. That's besides the point.
That's true. We could do that. We have a
That's
lot of stuff we can do.
next week.
Um, I Am Groot little shorts. I like those. I enjoyed those.
Yeah, they're fine.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're just they're what they are.
Okay. Is it time we get into spoilers, do you think?
I think it's time to get in spoilers.
Okay. What's the first spoiler you'd like to say?
Iron Man dies in Endgame.
Dude! I'm seeing that tomorrow.
Well,
You.
yeah. Sounds like what's the first
You.
one you want to say?
Nobody dies.
Do you know? So you say this last week. We had so this time last week, Will and I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, and I turned to him and I said, I think two people are going to die, or everyone is going to die, and that's the prediction I made. And then this morning, I went up to Will and I said, I've changed my mind. I think one person's going to die, or no one's going to die. So,
What made that switch?
I've just been thinking about it a lot. And I think like having no one die is I feel like James Gunn kind of feels for these characters too much. And I knew Rocket wasn't gonna die with the whole film being about how sad, like from the promotional stuff, so much of the film was gonna be about how sad his life is and like and so much of the promotional material focuses on him seemingly dying. I don't know.
Right. I was expecting Drax to die though.
Yeah, no, I was expecting Drax to die, but I think the reason why I changed my mind on that was just because there was so little of him in the trailers. Yeah. And I don't think you kill off a character that's barely in the film.
The Star-Lord should have died. Like, I'm not saying like to fit the narrative, but I'm saying what happened to him in the movie.
Oh, okay.
He should have died.
I mean, is he still a bit celestial? Like,
no, he's not.
No, like I know he doesn't have the magical powers, but does he not? Like, surely half of his genes are still a bit magical. They didn't, I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe. But
And
also it's
you could always make the argument, surrounding nowhere, there's like a thin atmosphere because obviously inside, there's ways around it.
Yeah, but his head like blew up like a balloon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
this is not the point we get stuck off to begin with. So just general thoughts on the film, and then do you want to go character by character?
Sure. My general thoughts on the movie. I really liked it. Mm-hmm. I cried.
I cried 4 or 5 times.
You might disagree with me on this, and that's okay. I love the movie, but I wasn't a big fan of how it ended.
Interesting. We'll get to that. We won't start there.
Yeah.
I've got thoughts. I don't fully disagree.
Okay. So now it's your turn.
I very much enjoyed it. I think the emotion work. Like I said, I don't think this isn't the most I've cried at a film, but
No.
I think this film has the most individual moments throughout that I've cried at.
What's the hardest you think you've cried at a movie?
Oh, yours is Avengers Infinity War. I don't know. Let me have a look at my phone. I could probably tell you. But like, I think because there were so many individual moments I cried at this film, like it was frequent, but it wasn't substantial.
Right. What do you count as crying?
For me, crying is like a single tear because I
Okay.
don't,
No. I agree. But
I
like,
don't
do you consider welling up?
know. I think a tear has to make contact with the cheek,
Yeah, no, I agree.
face, or butt. That was we're so immature that you laughed so much at that.
That's a good one.
Is the
What?
film you've cried most at Infinity War?
Yes.
The film I cry most at,
Are you looking at your letterboxed?
yeah, it might be Infinity War for a
It's
different.
like when Spider-Man died, it caught me so off guard.
I did really cry. Guardians 2 might be the
Mm,
film that makes me cry the most consistently. I've never watched that film and not cry at the ending.
I think I only cried like once or twice from that ending.
Really, every single day. It's Kraglin in it gets me every time. It's
Yeah,
so
it's good.
and then the bit where Rocket's like, even though we stole those batteries.
Yeah.
This is off topic. I've been saying this to myself all week. If I ask you what do you think is what I find the funniest moment in any Guardians film, you're not going to be able to guess what it is because it's such an obscure joke.
Tell me.
Harbulary batteries. Drax getting the name of the batteries wrong in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I just every single time it gets me I find it so much funnier than it actually is. And I've just been walking around a week going, Harbulary batteries.
That's a good joke. It is a good
It's
one.
the delivery from Batista.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Characters now.
Sure. What do you wanna do? Where are we starting?
Let's start from like least impressionable to most impressionable, I think.
Ooh, interesting. Who is the least impressionable character in this film for you? It depends how small we're going. Do you want to go like Cosmo? I think Cosmo was the least impressionable for me.
Yeah, sure.
Out
Cosmo.
of the like major characters.
Yeah.
I liked the running joke about
good dog, bad dog.
Yeah.
No, I like that actress. I think she's super funny.
Borat's daughter.
Mm-hmm. The CGI wasn't like there's like one or two moments with Drax where it looked a little bit off, but like the CGI in this movie, which isn't like a necessarily like sound critique, but either way, like it's phenomenal in this movie.
Do you know what I was thinking about during
What?
like when I got home? So when I watched Avengers Endgame, for example, when I watched Avengers Endgame last night, there are certain moments in it where like you see Hulk's face or you see Thanos' face, and you're just in awe because you're like, wow, this CGI is incredible because like that looks so real.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not get that moment once in this film. And I think that CGI might mean that it's even better.
Yeah.
Because it did not even register as CGI. I'm like, yep, there's a raccoon and a talking tree. And not once did I go, that looks really real. Just I accepted it the entire way through.
I think there's this one shot where it's like baby Rocket that morphs into adult Rocket.
Yeah.
And that I was, because it's so close to the face and it looks so real. That's one part where I was like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But no, I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
But I like Cosmo as an addition. So I've been doing research for Guardians Galaxy a few weeks ago for a YouTube video I did. And when the Guardians Galaxy like first appeared in the comics as the team they are now, the team was Star-Lord, Gamora, Groot, Rocket, Drax, Mantis, Cosmo.
Really?
The Cosmo was so there was no Nebula, there was no Yondu, and like and Cosmo was the missing link there. And I liked where she ended up in the film, but I think we'll talk about that more generally at the end.
Next is probably Kraglin.
Yeah, I love Kraglin.
He's good.
A soft spot for Kraglin.
Unimpressionable doesn't mean bad, but like
it's not given a lot to do, and I think he had enough play in this film. Like I wasn't disappointed by his.
He had a nice arc with the arrow.
Yeah. Oh, and it was cute seeing Yondu again.
Yeah, it was cute.
I just had a feeling he was going to be in this film somehow. I don't know why I thought that.
He was at the premiere, Michael Rooker.
Yeah. He's good. He's good, and he's good here. I like Sean Gunn, and I think he's a good Kraglin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, interested to see who he's going to play in the DCU, undoubtedly.
Oh yeah, he has to.
Jimmy Olsen, here we go.
Okay.
Now this is difficult. I would say next least impressionable, the core, I think I would go Groot. There were two I was trying to choose between there, but I'd go Groot.
Who's the other one?
Adam.
Yeah, okay, I'll go Groot. I love what they did with Groot, like how he changes physically throughout the movie.
Yeah. I like that this Groot definitely has a different, like you don't really see it until he's more grown up, but this Groot definitely has a different personality to last Groot. Can we get in? So I know I said we'll talk about the ending at the end, but I want to talk about this now because I have been thinking about Groot's age a lot these past few days, a bit too much. So at the end, he's massive King Groot, I think he's called, and he's just a huge bloke.
Yeah.
First question: do you think that is what original Groot would have grown into in the next couple of years?
No. Did we ever get a confirmation of how old that Groot actually was?
No, that's what I'm going to Google it because
that Groot seemed older to me.
Yeah, I think it's he's got like a more wise face.
Yeah,
and he's like a bit more like he's a bit less. I think this new Groot is a bit violent, a bit bashful. Yeah, because this Groot in this film is 7 or 8 years old because he was
at the end.
No, just during the film.
Yeah,
because he was born in 2014 ish, and this film is like 2026. But also he was dusted for 5 years.
Right. Yeah.
So he's only like 6 or 7 years old. So do these guys just die really early or do they grow up fast? Okay. How old is Groot in every Guardians of the Galaxy movie? Here's an article.
What do we have?
It says the original Groot is unknown.
Unknown, you said?
Yeah, that's not useful. You don't give me an article called How Groot in every Guardians of the Galaxy film and not tell me how old he is.
How old is Groot?
I think that Groot would have grown into big old King Groot. This is not the conversation.
Maybe, but like, I don't know. Maybe he was just a younger Groot. That is totally possible. But like, I don't know. My brain was just like, when I saw him, like, oh, this is just like a different Groot, so he's going to grow to a different size.
Yeah, that's fair. They did a lot of inventive stuff with Groot in this film. Like I liked Kaiju Groot. I liked Groot with wings.
Mm-hmm.
The gun inside Groot.
That's what I'm saying. Like when he was like the spider, and he grew back.
And then when his body was half grown back, and it was that was cool. I had something else to say about. He doesn't like. So I had a little debate with some friends who were like, "Oh, I don't like it when like a couple of them said they didn't like it when Groot went, 'I love you guys.'"
My friend didn't like that either, but I loved it.
Do we have the same opinion on what that is? Oh, I that wasn't Groot saying that. That was us hearing Groot how everyone else hears Groot. That wasn't like Groot magically just learned how to talk. That
Oh,
was
maybe.
us understand, like actually hearing what everyone else hears.
Maybe.
I think that's what it is.
Hmm.
That's what I read it as, and that's what I said to my friends, and they were like, "Yeah, fair enough." And I think that's why.
I like that idea, but how would you take it if he actually said, "I love you guys"?
I don't think I would have liked it.
Interesting. I'm interested to see because James Gunn will probably address that at one point.
I'm also not because I'm not the biggest fan of the "We Are Groot" thing anyway.
Oh, you're now in a.
It's fine. I don't know. I don't know. But I think that is just like us hearing him on this level, and he sounds very Vin Diesel there as well.
Well, it is Vin Diesel, so that makes
Why not?
sense.
It's Groot.
I didn't want to be the one to break this to you.
Are we talking about Adam Warlock next?
Sure, let's talk about Adam Warlock.
Different to what I expected.
He is.
Yeah.
I liked him.
I'm not saying definitely not saying I disliked him, but I'm just saying different to what I expected.
But I'm kind of relieved because I was more or less expecting like a sovereign copy and paste soldier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't that. I like the idea that he was taken out of his capsule a little bit too early, and he's a little ditzy.
I liked the twist that the High Evolutionary made the Sovereign.
That was cool. It doesn't make much sense, but that was cool.
I think it's fine because to me it makes sense because in the first film they like reference how they were all genetically engineered to be perfect. Like that's what they say in the first film, and then when you think about that in line with the High Evolutionary, you're like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense that he just made these species to be perfect, and then he didn't like them, so he just binned them like everyone else.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah, no, it does make sense.
So I like that as a little twist. No, I think. Do you think they should have used more of Adam? Because like he's got an arc in this film, but
Yes and no. Like I feel like any more it would have been overstuffed.
I get that. I just think he should have had more scenes with the Guardians.
Yeah, like he kind of just disappears for a moment, and then
Yeah,
he reappears to save Star Lord.
he doesn't really say anything to the Guardians all film because at the start, great opening, I think, of them just beating him up.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
I would also like to say I predicted the opening to this film.
What of being the High Evolutionary?
So because every single Guardians film starts with a flashback and then a musical number and then the big title card. And I said it's gonna have the baby raccoon flashback, and then it's gonna have this song, and Rocket's gonna be listening to it.
Oh, the Creep song.
Yeah.
Oh wow. How did you know that? Just because of the.
I don't know. I was listening. I was just every time I'd listen to a song in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 soundtrack in the past few weeks, I'd like try to like imagine where it'd be in the film, and I was like, this is definitely a song that like Rocket is relating to within the film.
Okay, one question I want to get to before in this episode is what your favorite song on the soundtrack is.
Might be that one. I do really like that song.
It's not my favorite.
What's your favorite?
My favorite, I think, as of this moment is, if I could, In the Meantime.
That was going to be my second choice. All week, Will and I have been walking around the house going,
Yeah,
I did that pretty well. That's the best I've ever done it. Will is up. Will is above me right now, going, "Oh, I know what Dean's talking about." Do you know when we did the Mario episode, he said to me afterwards, "I heard lots of let's goes from my from."
All right. What character's next?
I would go. I don't want to admit it. I think it might be Drax.
I think it might be the High Evolutionary.
I was going to, okay, let's go High Evolutionary.
In my review,
Mm-hmm.
I said I think this might be the best Guardians villain. It's 50-50 with Ego.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, obviously Ronan's not in the picture. What about
Um,
Kevin Bacon?
it's the antagonist. If anything, Kevin Bacon is the protagonist
Who
of that.
is the antagonist? And is it?
There isn't one.
No, there
It,
has to be. I think it's you because you're
it's
such a
it's
pain in my ass. What's next? Wait, High Evolutionary.
evolutionary.
He's
He's he's not boring to watch. When he's on screen, you're not like get to the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Chukwudi. What's his name?
I can't. I'm not even
That's. I'm
gonna.
pretty sure I did a pretty good job with his first name. Yeah, Chukwudi
Um,
Luigi. He's great because he
he's
is
good.
because we talked about this in Peacemaker. He is great in Peace. There's the one scene in Peacemaker. Spoiler alert for Peacemaker if you haven't seen it. Just jump forward 30 seconds, where he talks about how he's like living with the memories of this man he killed and all that, and that's
Yeah,
the where he's going through that, and that is so well performed, and I think he does just a good job in this film.
he does a good job, but I just like it. There are better villains in the MCU. I feel
I agree, and I don't. I That's not his fault, and it's not the writing's fault, and it's not. It's not a flaw with the film that
but
I
the
saying there are
scene
better villains isn't a flaw with the film.
when the High Evolutionary's face is peeled off, though,
That is a great reveal
that it is. Yeah, because
of how much Rocket just
because like when you see Rocket attack his face, like you don't really. I at least I didn't like really put two and two together
I
that it was a mask.
yeah
You put it together.
no.
Um,
Which also I think is so it's a common thing with supervillains to like be obsessed over a hero because they cause them a physical deformity. Because Doctor Doom's whole thing is that it's different versions of Doom, but like the most common version of Doom is that Reed Richards gave him one scar on his face. And then he hated Reed Richards forever because it was like a horrible imperfection, and that's why he always wears the armor. And then in some versions, the armor gets stuck to him, and then he's scarred even more. And then Lex Luthor, his origin usually, which is stupid, is that it's Superman's fault that he's bald, and then he and then he blames Superman forever for that. And I think a reason why the High Evolutionary is so obsessed with Rocket is because the High Evolutionary wants everything to be perfect, and it's Rocket's fault that he's not perfect.
right. And he doesn't like. I think I really enjoy the scenes with Rock and the High Evolutionary. I think it
Yeah,
works very well.
yeah. I think his anger worked really well. Like he was a mad scientist. Like
The one thing I didn't understand
mhm.
is when he goes to get Rocket after what he recommended worked. He seemed like he was almost drunk. You know what I mean? Like he was like falling over.
Yeah.
Do you have a reason as to why he was like?
What were they saying? Were they like, "Oh, we need to do this tomorrow" or something like that? Like, what were his assistants were like trying to talk him out of going in there?
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
I
like
think
I don't know.
just I think it's a very good over the top performance, and I think that might just be part of it.
Okay.
I can come back to you on a rewatch. I think like it's not the kind of thing where that's I'm taking minus points off for that.
No, me either. But I was just curious. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
was like, is there something I missed?
I
Um,
appreciate that there's no that it is as over the top as it is.
yeah, it is
And
very
not
over the top.
silly.
No, right. It's like it's more chilling. If anything, you're like, whoa, this guy's kind of loopy.
It was a good. It made me think of a Darth Vader moment where his helmet gets taken off at the end.
Yeah,
It was a really good reveal that because it's a good reveal because never in the film did I ask myself why is this guy so obsessed with Rocket, but then you get to that point at the end and it does explain something about the film that you weren't really wondering.
well, because like you kind of understand first of all why he's doing it
Yeah,
because it
because
makes sense because he's like, this is the one creature I've created that is
yeah,
able of
yeah,
progressing society.
yeah, but then beyond that, it is also just the
Right. It just adds another layer that's really interesting to it.
exactly. We is it,
And
I'm sorry.
what were you gonna say?
No, I was just continue. I was moving on.
Oh, it kind of felt under Rocket, so I'll just save it for Rocket.
Drax next.
Drax is next.
Which Drax is probably my favorite Guardian. And that's partially because of my love of Dave Batista. I'm willing to admit that. But I think he's number one, obviously he's hilarious. I think number two, there is such a subtle depth to the character. And I think also Dave Batista is great as Drax.
How do you feel about him in this movie?
I kind of liked, because I know Dave Batista in the past has kind of complained that maybe Drax has gone a bit too stupid and is a bit too much of the butt of the joke.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of make that into an arc and into a like a whole point within the film itself, and they address that within the film, which I like.
Yeah,
and I think that works. And I think he had a lot of really sweet moments. He had a lot of strong moments, and I think he had a lot of funny moments as well.
he definitely is like the funniest character, I'd probably say, in the
Yeah,
movie.
normal. Yeah, Rocket would be up there usually, but not in this film.
Not in this film.
I don't think he has one funny moment in this film. You think?
I'd need to rewatch it, but yeah, most of the scenes that involve him are pretty serious.
I did a turd and it looked like a fish analogy.
That was great.
Because Drax does have famously huge turds.
This is true. I do like how
as well.
they focus on him like being a dad.
I honestly, the bit at the end that like, so I was like crying a little bit during the end scene, like at this point, and the bit where I really started crying was when Nebula said, "You weren't born to be a destroyer; you were born to be a dad."
Mm.
And I was like, "That is so sweet," and I really liked that moment.
It was also really sweet when he waved goodbye to Mantis.
Yeah, and when I was so happy when he started dancing.
Yeah,
that is a full arc for Drax.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he's going to be coming back?
No. I think at the end, should we go for every character and say what we think about that?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Short answer, no. I just like, it's a full arc for Drax. Like, that's a 3-movie arc of him dancing at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, I just found it really sweet when he was like, the robot bit was really cute as well. When he's like, "Oh, I always used to do." What did he say? Did an impression
monkeys?
Of? Monkey. Yeah. When he was like,
but a robot. It's weird that he did that because a robot killed his cousin, and he hates robots.
It was a GoBot that killed
what?
A Go.
Oh, a GoBot.
That joke is the best joke in the holiday special, I think. GoBot killed his cousin, and then he's just, what do you think is the best joke in the holiday special?
Oh, you're pretty. I
think that joke's really funny. Or when Drax getting shot by the police, that's also up there.
Oh yeah, that one's really good too.
Or
they love to do that.
The elf joke.
No, that's the best joke. The little man.
They're all Drax related.
This is true.
What's the funniest joke in Guardians of the Galaxy 1? Because now I've done my favorite joke in 2 and the holiday special. I think it might be the robot leg, when he's like, "I need that guy's leg."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. No, sure, we'll go with that one.
This is a bit off topic, but I thought it was really interesting. I was reading a James Gunn interview recently where I think I prefer Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I think 2 is funnier. And the reason James Gunn agrees, James Gunn thinks Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is funnier. And the reason he says it's funnier is because when he was writing the script, he was using the strengths of the actors, which obviously he didn't do for the first film. Wrote the script and then chose the actors, because he was like, "Oh, Chris Pratt is a very specific type of humor," and like apparently he regretted making Drax shout so much in the first film because Dave Batista doesn't enjoy that.
Oh, interesting.
He's quite a quiet guy, and I think that's
right.
But yeah, that's a bit off topic.
No, that is really interesting. It's actually about Drax.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Which going next? I think I know. I think you go Nebula.
I would go Gamora.
Yeah, that's yeah,
We're getting into the high, like the top
yeah.
tier ones now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you want to go Gamora?
Yeah, Gamora.
I still think Nebula, but I'm happy to talk about Gamora.
Um, Gamora. I like Gamora in this, but I thought her hair looked cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think my favorite thing, because like when I was thinking about like how are they going to do her relationship with Peter Quill and not make it seem like a retread, I
yeah,
was really curious and worried about how they're going to do that. And they not only address how she stayed alive in like the best way possible, which is
yeah.
essentially being like, I don't know, soul magic. Um, but I think like what really sold her entire character for me is at the very end, you tell that you can see that she has a family at the Ravagers.
And also I think that she did it showed restraint to have her like kind of fall back in love with Quill, but still leave at the end and not have them end up together. And
Right.
I think that's the sweetest ending to do because obviously you couldn't end it with her being like, "I'm not the person you know, and I don't like you, bye," and then
Right.
leave. I think this, and I think that this is more of a thing to talk about with Quill, and I probably will talk about it more then. But yeah, I think that showed restraint. Slightly off topic again. Do you know the woman they threaten?
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
The pink lady?
Yeah,
No.
that's Ratcatcher.
Interesting. I
Because
did not know that.
I did not pick up on that until afterwards, and I was like, no way.
Huh.
Ratcatcher from Suicide.
Suicide Squad. Yeah. Wreckage 2, technically.
Yes, yes.
It's not Taika Waititi.
So which is interesting, and obviously his wife was in this. Nathan Fillion had a bigger part.
Mm-hmm.
He
Um,
got Michael Rooker back in.
he got everybody in here.
Yeah, Sean Gunn had a bigger part.
Um, but Gamora's arc was great. I think there were at times she got a little bit annoying, where
I
I was
think it
like,
worked because
it
I
did work.
this is better than the alternative of do you, it because they didn't Loki her
What do you
in
mean?
the TV show Loki. The Loki that's in that is a completely different Loki to the Loki who died in Avengers Infinity War.
Right.
But they just spent an episode of watching clips of original Loki to get that Loki up to speed. And I think that's fine. Like I don't have any massive issues with that. But
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit cheap. And I'm glad they didn't do that in this, which is a better thing than Loki.
Yeah. I know. I agree. Um, I think it also gives like an interesting comparison to like she's different, but she's also like the same person that we've kind of seen before
Yeah.
in 2014.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, I don't know, seeing that the character that we've seen grow, regress, but also change off screen. I don't know. It's interesting.
No, I get you. I think it was good not seeing her in the holiday special.
Yes, for sure. It wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, but like even if it fit into the plot, I think it's still, you know,
For sure. All right. Nebula.
relevant. I think is Howard the Duck.
Silly Billy. No.
So at this table, there was Howard the Duck, Kraglin, Cosmo. There
Mhm.
was the musician from Holiday Special,
There was
and there was the
the
healer from Xandar.
first one. Yeah, from Xandar.
You know, cool. Whatever. Anyway, Nebula.
You just want to go through that?
Yeah. I just want to
Okay.
get it straight in my mouth. What?
This is my favorite interpretation of Nebula.
So did you know Nebula's Gunn's second favorite character?
Yes, I didn't know that.
And I think it's weird that this is the first film where Nebula is in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Really,
I mean, I don't think I agree with that.
would you say she's a part of the team in 2?
No.
But then she's not in any other film. If she's not in 2, in Infinity War, she only meet. She's not a Guardian because at the start of the film she's captured by Thanos, and then she's with Gamora, and then she frees herself, and then she joins um Drax, Mantis, Star Lord, Peter, and Tony and Doctor Strange.
I think she becomes a Guardian in the third one, or like in the holiday special.
Okay, no, yeah, sorry, I wasn't counting the holiday special, but like she's barely in that, you know. Like this is I think this is like the first time she's in the Guardians of the Galaxy and you see it properly.
Yeah.
She spent more time with the Avengers than she has the Guardians.
Yeah, because she just spent 5 years with the Avengers, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked her in this movie. I feel like I think her action scenes were sick.
Yeah.
They really like we've seen a little bit of her like, fixing her jaw and stuff,
Yeah.
but we've never seen it to this extent.
And the hand, what do you think of the new hand?
Sick. I liked it.
I've had an issue with nanotech recently. And this is such a clever way of doing it. Where like it kind of is nanotech, but it looks and works in a way that looks like it could be real.
Yeah, and also like I don't know, it makes sense with Nebula out of all people.
Yeah. And I really liked her sticking up for Quill when Gamora gave him a big push.
Yeah.
And I really liked her I liked her ending, and I liked her. I think the Mantis Drax Nebula was a really good combo of people to hang out together.
Yeah, it shows a lot of like watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when they have that scene of like we're family and then they say like besides you to Nebula. Yeah, it shows a lot of growth since then because now like it's just her and Drax.
Yeah.
And Groot, kind of, and Rocket, kind of, but not really.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Star-Lord?
I was going to say Mantis.
Oh yeah, Mantis. Yeah, Mantis.
Honestly, though, I think Mantis is the real MVP of this film.
She has a lot of time on screen.
I think she's really good. I really like. Even in the holiday special, I wasn't the biggest fan of Mantis.
Yeah.
But in this, I think she's great.
I think like I really enjoyed the scene because in it's just something I was thinking about. In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it opens up with them fighting the big like monster.
Yeah, the obelisk.
Of which there's 3 of in the High Evolutionary space.
Yeah.
Do you think the High Evolutionary sent the monster?
That's interesting. I don't know.
I think there is some basis of a theory there. But
Arbilary batteries.
Arbilary batteries.
Annulax batteries.
I think I really enjoy the scene of Mantis calming those creatures.
Yeah,
I really riding them.
Like telling off Nebula.
Yeah.
And I really like the scene of her being like, "Oh, you need to learn how to swim," and she's just hiding in the corner while Drax says that.
And her fight scenes are also so good. Like I feel like they use her powers so well in this movie. It was sick.
Yeah, especially in like the flesh world. She's the most surprising player here for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like for like screen time and contribution and enjoyment.
I think I want to talk about Mantis and Star-Lord leaving at the same time, so maybe let's hold that discussion for after we talk about Star-Lord, because I think I have a little bit more precise thoughts on Star-Lord, but both him and Mantis kind of I have similar feelings towards.
What do you think of Star-Lord in general?
I really enjoyed him. I thought I think Star-Lord reacting to Rocket die made me cry the hardest.
That was really good.
Because you get like you see like I don't know, the panic in his eyes.
Yeah, and it's the arc over the course of the films of those two good dudes as well.
Yeah.
The bit, and then I really thought was sweet before we talk about Rocket, but kind of talking about Rocket is when Mantis is like, "Oh, Rocket, we all love you and we're happy you're okay," and then he gets quite emotional. He's like, "Well, you guys are the idiots."
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, Star Lord is. I enjoyed the references to his like grandpa thinking he's gone missing because that's something I've probably been saying since 2014. You know,
What, like his grandpa?
that he just ditched his family on Earth.
Hmm. What did you think? I was really crossing my fingers for him to wear his new mask.
So was I, but he didn't wear a mask at all, which I think is really interesting.
Why didn't he? It would have saved him.
Yeah, he does not have a mask anywhere. I don't know what the thinking behind that was.
Me either.
It's really interesting. I was thinking about this. That yeah, because we were like, oh, he doesn't wear the mask in the trailers. He must be getting a cool new one. No, he just doesn't have one for no reason. I think I was talking about this with Will. So the film kind of opens up with him being a bit of a drunk.
Yeah.
And I liked the idea in the trailer that like the bit of him being carried, everyone's like, oh no, what's happened to Quill? But it's just because he's drunk in the actual film.
Yeah.
Do you think that got enough of a resolution?
His like drinking problem?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they don't straight out like confirm that he's like an alcoholic or anything.
Yeah.
He's just like down bad. So
Yeah.
like I in my opinion that like there were so many other arcs and stuff that like
Yeah.
it
And
was kind of half baked
think
and it didn't need to be.
the bit they did reference it was when he was like, oh, if I wasn't drunk, maybe Rocket would have been fine.
Right.
And I think, yeah. But it's an interesting. It's a more mature element to a lot of that stuff, and I'm glad it was in there. I think it was pretty good.
There was a lot of mature element. There's just one sidetrack, but one thing that I found so strange, and I don't understand why they included it at all, is when Rocket frees all the animals and the monkey just scratches the hell out of a random woman's face. Remember what I'm talking about?
Out of nowhere, yeah. No, I think about it. The him absolutely destroying the high evolutionary's face is dark as well.
Yeah. But like I don't understand why the like I assumed when that happened like a bunch of other animals were gonna start like terrorizing people, but no, it was just a monkey.
It was, yeah.
Anyways, getting back to Star-Lord. I really liked him talking to Gamora and Nebula during then. I think
Yeah.
It showed a lot of it was just really interesting to watch him try to win back Gamora again, but it failing at every turn.
Yeah. I liked the bit where he falls in love with Nebula. I think that's funny.
That is great, which was improvised. It was an improvised moment. Yep.
Just like the F-bomb.
Yes, indeed. What a great F-bomb.
It was really funny because like those car doors don't exist anymore. I mean,
Yeah, well, they exist in the
But
80s.
in the car park to the cinema, there was one of these car doors.
Really?
And we walked past it. And I was like, do you think you'd be able to open that car door?
Yeah, that was great.
So before I'm currently replaying the trailer because I just want to check something.
Okay.
I think the trailer has lied to us.
Wait, while you're talking about that, I'll talk about other things I liked about
I can't tell from this. So, are we getting into Rocket stuff now?
No,
Okay.
there's still one thing I want to talk
Just
about.
it was more of a Lila thing than a Rocket thing, but yeah, go
Okay. I want to talk. I want you to put a pin in that thought about Lila.
on.
Because we gotta talk about Mantis and Star-Lord leaving at the end.
Oh yeah. No, do you want to talk about the endings at all the endings at the end?
Oh, sure.
Put a pin in that thought.
Putting a pin in that thought, and
Can I
we're slightly unpinning the other. But
do
it's
you want to swap pins? You can use my pin if you want. I can.
sure. Can I? Yeah, let me borrow your. Wait, what color is it?
Orange.
Do you have any red ones?
Yeah.
Okay, one of those.
No, I don't like you. In the trailer, so Lila dies, and I think that is a surprise. Were you surprised
Yeah.
that she wasn't like in?
Well, yes and no.
But like before you watched the film, were you expecting her to be in the present day?
Yes.
I watched the clip in the trailer where they hug because I was sure it's been edited and Rocket was wearing clothes. Rewatching the clip at quarter speed, I can't tell if he's wearing clothes in it, but it has been edited because no, oh no, he's not wearing clothes because she has arms in it.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too.
Wait, no, she doesn't.
She doesn't?
I actually can't tell. No, she doesn't. That's really thrown me for a loop because I was sure she had arms.
Let's see here.
Do you want me to send it to you?
No, I have it because I've been editing a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, so I have both the trailers loaded onto my phone.
Well, anyway, that bit was I've been thinking about.
Yeah, nope, she has robot arms. Yeah, it's an unedited clip.
Yeah, which is interesting, but I yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that moment's so sweet.
Here we go. I'm going to send you something on Instagram. Wrong account to send you stuff on. This literally just popped up on my Instagram.
What we got here? Oh yeah, that's Ratcatcher.
Doesn't really look like her to me still, even though I know it.
No, yeah, there's no way I would have been able to notice that because she like looks so different even without the makeup on.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, without the grime on her as Ratcatcher.
Okay. Moving on to Rocket.
Yes.
Hugo, you start.
Are you disappointed
No,
by the lack of current Rocket in this film?
no.
I was a little bit.
The only part that it has to do with the ending.
Okay. Because he's not the main character in the like he is the I don't know, he's like the plot is built around him, obviously. But like I think Star-Lord is still the main guy in this film.
Yeah.
Which disappoints me a bit. And like I would have liked, and I'm saying the film works with it, but I would have liked, you know, if did like it was missing like something like including with the humor with stuff like with Rocket not being there and like I don't know.
Like I would have like if we didn't get the constant flashbacks of Rocket, I
Yeah.
would be missing that. But we like, I don't know, we got so many flashbacks that it was kind of okay. And when he came back, it meant so much. Like I don't know, I was fine with it, and we still got cool Rocket bits.
Yeah.
So, but you're right, we did miss out on some of the classic Rocket quirk jokes.
Yeah. But the flashbacks, my gosh.
So good.
I was just going to say so sad.
It was very sad.
Like when I say I was crying throughout, I think the moments that made me cry. Number one, I think maybe the most heartbreaking moment of the film was Rocket's first words. That was so sad.
No, I think the most sad moment was when he just starts screaming after Lila died.
Yeah, that was sad. But that
got me.
I don't know. I think it was the baby Rocket just going hurts that really got to me.
Mm.
That's just so sad. And then yeah, and then when Lila died, and then when Star Lord thought Rocket was dying, and then Drax saying goodbye, and then throughout. But those, it was dark, and I think I don't know.
Um, yeah, I think when Lila died and he just starts screaming that, oh, whoa, man, did that get me?
Yeah.
And then he just tears into the High Evolutionary's face, and I was like,
Oh,
hell yeah.
and just like take off every.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think like when that was happening the first time, my brain had we had said my brain hadn't really put together how much damage was being
No,
done.
100% no. I
And
thought the augmentations were like to make him more intelligent and stuff like that, like the Thinker and the Suicide Squad or something was what I
right.
was.
And like I just assumed like around his face was where the scars were, and that's why it looked so weird. I thought that's where Rocket got him. But then like I'm looking forward to seeing this movie again and really knowing how much damage is done in that moment.
Yeah, it's a
That
really
he
good reveal
yeah.
because it's the kind of thing they could have shown. Yeah,
And also
at a different time.
when Rocket was trying the gravity boots in the beginning of the movie, I was like, "Oh, that's gonna come back." I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know when
was
though.
thinking that as well. That was set up for nothing.
No, that's not. That's not true.
What's it for?
He then uses the gravity boots
Oh, sorry.
against the High
Yeah,
Evolutionary.
yeah, but like it's not as big as a thing as I was. I don't know.
That's exactly what I was expecting. But like, I wasn't thinking of it in the moment. Like, I'm like, "Oh, he's so screwed." The gravity boots, and he blasts them. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
What was I going to say?
Oh, also when Rocket meets all the little baby raccoons, and it's confirmed that he's a raccoon.
Do you think it's a bit? I'm not a massive fan of the line where he goes, "I'm Rocket Raccoon."
Um,
I'm torn on it. I think.
from like a dialogue perspective, it doesn't make sense. Like nobody speaks like that. However, it's like his name is Rocket Raccoon, and he
It's
says
like
it.
it's like the bit in Thor: Love and Thunder when she goes, "The name is Mighty Thor," and if you can't,
Exactly.
I take Dr. Jane Foster. I don't know. Like to me, if like him accepting he's a raccoon feels like it's the end of a character arc that didn't happen. I don't know because I like often obviously he goes throughout all these films going, I'm not a raccoon, but that's not like that's a character flaw and it's not like something he comes to accept in this film. I don't know.
Well,
Unless
it was just like him being like, "I'm not a raccoon.
yeah.
That's not what I am," but then he is. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I think we all knew always knew he was a raccoon. I think it was just
Well, I not necessarily.
I always have. I just thought it was him not knowing what a raccoon is because he doesn't know where he's from. Was
I think like for me at least, it was open ended whether or not like, because I don't know much about his backstory, but like he could just be like an alien species that looks very similar to a raccoon, just
yeah,
similar to how like
like,
there are humans in Star Wars, but they're not
yeah,
humans.
but like he's cybernetically enhanced and everything.
Right, but
Yeah,
I didn't know to like the extent of him being cybernetically. Like I was just
yeah.
it hadn't been
I just
confirmed, so I didn't know.
yeah, and also I don't think it's the kind of thing anyone's been waiting for. That's the other thing because it felt like it was a big moment. Like, oh, he fine. I'm trying. There's another example of it that I can't think of. Um, there's a superhero who didn't go by their superhero name for ages, and then there's a big moment where they call themselves by their superhero name, and I can't remember what it is.
Um,
But it's like at the end of the film, oh yeah, call me Black Adam. But it felt like a moment like that. But I was like, no one's been waiting for him to call himself Rocket Raccoon.
you like Scarlet Witch?
That's it. Something like that. When they're like, oh, she's the Scarlet Witch. And then the episode ends and it's like a big, and you're like, yo, they called her the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
But then here it is like, I'm Rocket Raccoon. I don't think anyone was like, oh, they finally called him his name.
For me, it got me a little giddy. I was a little bit like, ooh, that's his name. That's his name.
It's a minor point to get hung up on. Like I know,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I just think it was a bit clunky.
All right. Should we talk about the ending?
I just want to say I also liked all the Guardians just laying waste to the High Evolutionary.
Oh, it was so good.
It was like puny god levels of satisfying of just this guy being punched around.
Also, I'm surprised we haven't talked about this yet. That hallway fight scene
Yeah,
where
the one
the
shot
the
of
one room, it was insane. It was so cool.
yeah,
Like, I think like every character there, like their skills are put to the max, and they just shred through these guys, and it's
yeah,
so cool.
yeah. Would have been
I
cool.
think seeing a Star-Lord especially kick butt was my favorite, just because like Rocket, Gamora, Nebula, all these characters can kick butt, and like they have powers.
Yeah, it would
But
have been cool if
Quill,
he had a helmet.
that's true. It would have been a lot cooler that way. But still, like I don't know. I thought seeing him actually kick butt and stay on par with the rest of the Guardians was cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Ending.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see. Oh, sorry about the ending of the film.
Yes, ending of the film.
This is a film to me. We make high art. Continue.
So sweet. Anyways.
Come on, Harley.
How'd you feel about the ending? I said I had an issue with it, and you didn't disagree.
I don't think I have an issue with it. I think I've been thinking about this while we've been talking. That I think there's two issues. Number one, it isn't what I was expecting. And number two, that this film has been marketed so heavily since 2016 as the finale of the Guardians.
Right.
And that's how it's been marketed. I think if you got rid of those two elements, if you got rid of what I was expecting and the fact that we were all expecting this to be the massive finale of this team, then I think it's a great ending. But when you put those two things into consideration, then it's a bit like, oh, but they didn't really wrap this up. And oh, if we never see this character again, that's going to be a bit unsatisfying and whatever else.
I think it just felt a little abrupt to me.
I can see that. Yeah. The Star-Lord stuff, I don't think is abrupt. Because the film had been building up towards that. Like the second Mantis goes, oh, you've just left your family. You know the film's going to end with him going to go see his grandpa. Like at least I did.
Right.
But the Mantis being like, oh, I need to go figure out who I am. I think that is a bit more abrupt. But I don't think it's not jarring.
No, it's not jarring.
Do you want to go to my character again? We could do just broad strokes, like so we could do like the new Guardians, the Galaxy.
Yes.
So that's
so broad strokes. We'll go the soloists,
yeah.
and then Nowhere, and then Guardians.
Yeah, and then Gamora.
Let's do soloists at the end. Let's start off with the Guardians, like you said.
So the new Guardians is Rocket Raccoon, as he is now known, thanks to that awesome scene. Big old King Groot, Kraglin, Cosmo. Is his name Blurp?
The new kid?
No, the little dog thing.
Cosmo.
No, the cat dog thing that Adam kept.
Oh, I don't know.
Adam Warlock and Phyla.
Interesting.
So she's a Captain Marvel. I think she becomes a Captain Marvel.
Oh, is she an actual character in like comics?
Yeah, she's Phyla Vel. That's her name. So it is in Marvel. In the Phyla Vel.
Interesting. I like the new Guardians. Like it's like I'm gonna start to see if they make it like a Guardians of the Galaxy 4 with those people.
That's yeah. I want to talk about what we want to see next. I'm not super interested in that, and I'm not sure why.
Like, I think it makes sense.
If they were like, we're doing an Adam Warlock movie or an Adam Warlock TV show, I'd be more interested. If they were like, we're doing a Rocket and Groot TV show, I'd be more interested. If they were like, we're doing the silly little adventures of Kraglin in a Marvel Studio special, and then I think I'd be more interested. But this team, as a combination of people, I think you need to add some people, or
Well, one could make the argument that that's kind of similar to how I honestly I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie didn't care and wasn't looking for like really any of the characters, maybe besides Rocket Raccoon and Groot, because
yeah,
I didn't know them. But I think, come like let's say they do a Guardians of the Galaxy 4 and they
yeah,
use this current
Mhm.
cast. I think they'll have opportunities to maybe change them up and give them more depth that can make them fan
yeah,
favorites as well. But right now, it doesn't sound that I just leave it. Don't you know what I mean?
yeah. Because like we know Kraglin and Groot and Rocket, and like we know, Adam would be interesting enough. I don't know. I think I'd rather. I think they are not equal to the sum of their parts. I think individually
Mm,
they would. I'm not saying I like this ending of them as a Guardians of the Galaxy team. I think that works. I think it's fun, and I
yeah,
think I think Rocket being the captain of the Guardians of the Galaxy is a perfect ending for that character.
yeah.
Um, but that I'm just not that interested in seeing them again. Like I think it works in this film, and I think it's a great ending for those lots.
So my one problem I think with the ending is I really liked how essentially the first two like themes of the first Guardians movies, the theme was like we together we're a family
Mm-hmm,
and like we're all kind of misfits and together we have like our own home.
mm-hmm.
And then Guardians 3 is going back to your home and leaving your life.
Yeah,
Like not I don't know about that the latter part, but like that's like the only thing that doesn't sit really well with me is that like it kind of contradicts what the first two were about.
I mm, I don't know. Because I don't know. I would see it more because Rocket is on his like. I think this is because this film's like obviously out of all those characters, Rocket is leagues above all of them in terms of importance. And I
Yeah,
think like him still having his family is the most important thing for that character. And I think for that reason it fits and it works.
but he kind of loses his family a little bit though, no?
Yeah, no, but like he still has a family, I mean.
Oh, yeah. That's
Like
true.
because I think I mean the film couldn't have ended with them still being the Guardians of the Galaxy and all galloping off together because
Yeah.
that's the finale. And I think the only alternative to have Rocket have the ending he needs would either to have him have an ending with Lila, which wouldn't happen because she's dead,
Sure.
or just continue within the Guardians. And also, he's still got to hang out with Groot.
Yeah. Because they're you can't split them up. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I would have liked
Okay.
to see more of Groot reaction to Rocket about to die.
Yeah. But like also I think it was more important that like Star Lord be the focal point
I'm
of
not.
that.
Yeah, I'm not saying get rid of any. I'm just saying add something there. But I get what you mean. Okay.
Um
Uh,
there's nowhere.
the one thing which which irritates me slightly about this is that Dave Batista has very strongly said that he's not going to return as Drax.
Right.
And I don't think this is the right way to end this character if we're never seeing it. I don't know. It's good. Oh, I might have just changed my mind on that. For Nebula, it works.
And I think for Drax it also kind of works like him being a leader to all these kids.
I think, yeah, because I was about to say I don't think it works, but I think the only way you can end Drax is him being a dad.
Right. Um I'm just interested because like Rocket's still around and we're probably going to be getting more Rocket.
Yeah.
And are we just expecting not to go to nowhere?
I think we'll be getting more Nebula.
But no more. You don't think we'll be getting any more? Like,
Dave Batista strikes me as the kind of guy that when he says he's done with something, he's done with it.
yeah, for sure.
Maybe in 5, 10, maybe in like in a while, we'll get more Drax.
It I just like I don't know if I believe Marvel enough for them to just like be like, no, we're done with that.
Yeah, but I just don't think that I don't think there's a I don't know. I maybe I'm just I'm misrepresenting Dave Bautista in my mind, but I don't think he's the kind of guy that'd go, oh, they're offering to pay me this much more money, I'm gonna go do it.
I feel like the only way he would do it is if James Gunn helped.
100%. And he's not going to.
No, for a while at least.
For 7 or 8 years, according to his contract.
Do you think he's not even able to help out on a Marvel movie?
I don't think he would.
I think the only way is if they do like a DC Marvel crossover.
Yeah, if he's directing DC films and DC TV shows, and he's writing DC films and DC TV shows, and he's leading the company.
He's probably gonna be a little busy.
Okay, so that's, do you want to get onto is it the soloist's time?
Yeah. So Mantis just kind of walks away. And it's like, okay.
The more I think about it, the more I don't mind it.
I don't mind Mantis. I don't mind it either. Mantis, I feel like Star-Lord definitely makes a lot of sense. I really enjoyed him going back to his home.
That's a good scene.
And eating cereal in the end credit scene.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested to see how he returns. Like, is Spider-Man going to visit his town? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. I'm happy that out of all of these, that's the one I'm like, yeah, I could see this guy returning in a fun way.
Yeah.
And what I said to her, I was like, imagine if is his references when he comes back, because all his references are very much of a certain period.
Yeah, that's true.
I also made the point today that if these weren't Marvel films, that Star-Lord would at one point make the joke being like, oh, you should be more like Bill Cosby or something like that.
That would be
I love those World Trade Centers he would have made a joke like that,
Oh my god. Yeah.
If it was, if it was something like Peacemaker, that would be a joke in this.
He would be like, oh, how's Princess Diana?
Were you trying to think of a British thing?
Yeah, that's really one I could think of, but that's not. I feel like that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. I don't think the Twin Towers one was very good. I just think something like Bill Cosby would be quite funny.
But Mantis it's just like it makes sense for her character, but then like she just kind of walks away.
Yeah.
And I don't know. If out of any character that we never see again, if like I had to place my bets, it would probably be Mantis.
Really? I think
no, I don't necessarily I don't agree with that. But like story-wise, like which one I feel like would be like the least likely.
Yeah, you're right. Like story wise, it makes the least sense, but behind the scenes,
yeah,
I think like what does Pom Klementieff have going on at the moment? No offense to her, she's good.
Who? Oh, the actress.
Exactly. Sure. She's spoken to James Gunn about joining DC.
Oh, interesting.
I've done a video ages ago. I did a YouTube video about who all the Guardians could play in DC, and she was one I struggled with.
James Gunn figures something out for sure.
Yeah, but she's good, but I reckon if they asked her about it, she'd have no objections.
Yeah.
Gamora.
Right. Oh yeah, Gamora. I like how Gamora's, and I would be fine not seeing Gamora again.
Yeah.
I think her arc is done perfectly, and I'm like, if she was if it was confirmed that she would never appear in anything ever again, I could sleep.
Zoe Saldana has said that, but I don't take her as seriously as I take Dave Bautista, mostly because Dave Bautista's been saying it for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. I think you're right. It would. How would you feel if, like, in a few years' time, when Star-Lord comes back, Gamora comes back too, and they do end up falling in love?
I wouldn't like that,
Would you
just
not? I
because
don't think I'd mind it.
I just feel like um I don't know, it kind of takes away from the impact of Infinity War.
That's true. I just think
And
that I don't think it messes with Quill's arc in here because we didn't talk about this. I really like Quill's arc of at the end him being like, I need to go and learn how to swim.
yeah,
Maybe he doesn't know how to swim because he left Earth when he was 8, but that's besides the point.
or maybe he doesn't even know how to ride a bike.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't know how to drive a car.
That's true. Wait, do you know how to ride a bike?
Yes.
Why did I think you didn't know how to ride a bike?
I don't know.
Are you lying to me?
No, I can ride a bike. I can't swim great. Like I can survive. No style. Like no style, nothing. I'm just, you know.
I took swimming lessons. I can swim, but like not great.
Yeah, like it's not like I'm no danger in the water at
Like
all.
I could make it from one end of the pool to the
Oh,
other.
easily, but like not in any way that looks good.
Right. Um.
Is that
Is
everyone?
there what? Yeah, I think that's everyone.
Gamora, Star Lord, Mantis, Drax, Nebula, Rocket, Groot, Kraglin, Cosmo, Howard the Duck.
Oh,
That's
is
it.
it Doug?
What if he
Is
was
it
in the
is it
Guardians
is
of
it
it?
voiced by Seth Green this time?
Yeah, yeah, always. Is that okay? So do you know? And Adam Warlock. Do you know what my question is?
Hmm.
I've got a couple of questions. Firstly, I'm going to give you some options, and you've got to choose which one you'd rather see a Disney Plus show slash film about.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Rocket and Groot,
Okay.
the new Guardians team,
Okay.
Adam Warlock,
Okay.
the Ravagers.
Um. Rocket and Groot.
Really? I
Yeah.
think I'd go Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock has a close second.
So do you see what I mean? Where like the parts of the new Guardians team are more interesting than the team itself.
No, I get what you mean
Because
for
we'd
sure.
both rather see Rocket and Groot and Adam Warlock before.
But like, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a Guardians 4 and I fall in love with all of them.
Yeah, I think best case scenario, maybe not best case scenario. If they did, oh, we're turning this Guardians team into a Disney Plus show, I think I'd prefer that
Yeah.
because that way you can do an Adam Warlock episode and you can do Rocket and Groot go off and do something, and then you can do an episode of just Cosmo having fun. And I think
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I would like to see the Ravagers.
Yeah,
Maybe that's just my soft spot for Stallone.
maybe, but like, I don't really care much for that ensemble of characters.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, how do you think Star-Lord's returning? That's my other question.
Looking at like the current like movies that are slated to come out,
Mhm.
he'll probably maybe it'll be in Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, I don't know, like how he gets recruited into that and how I don't know.
Maybe he'll be in Fantastic Four.
That would be weird, I think. It's tricky.
Um,
The thing is, the way because always like at the end of Thor Love and Thunder, it says Thor will return. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense. But the fact that at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, it says the legendary Star Lord will return. Like, and the fact that it's just Star Lord means they definitely have a specific plan for this guy.
right.
I would say
Maybe
the Marvels if that wasn't so soon. If the Marvels was coming out in like 3 years.
for sure. I'm thinking maybe Thunderbolts.
That's not a bad idea.
I'm just thinking of like ones that would
It
make
will be. I think it will be Avengers, but I just don't. You know, like because
yeah,
I don't want to see a Star Lord solo thing because he's the main character of these films. You know,
right.
I don't think I wouldn't complain of seeing more of him. I like Chris Pratt. I like the character, but he's the main character. Like he's the one that I'm like, why are we getting a Star Lord solo thing?
Yeah, for sure. and I'm trying to see like other things. Yeah, Thunderbolts would make no sense. Maybe Loki. Maybe Ironheart, but
No, I can't see any of them apart from Thunderbolts. Really, I think it'll be Avengers.
yeah, it'll probably be Avengers. Who are we getting?
But then, yeah, I don't know how that he's fitting into that. You know, I'd like Adam Warlock's the one guy that I'm like, he's interesting, and we didn't get enough. Like they left me with just enough for me to want more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Any closing thoughts? How would you rank the Guardians films? Have I asked you that already?
I think for me, it might. I don't know if it goes 1, 2, 3 or 2, 1, 3.
Interesting. Really, three's at the bottom.
Yeah,
I
but
think
like it's like a 91 to a 90%. You know what? Like it's like so close for me.
I need to rewatch 3, but at the moment I'm thinking 1, 3, 2.
Wow, interesting.
Okay, big question. Final question to end on. Maybe not. Okay, I've got 2 more questions. Promise. This going back to what we talked about at the start. Are you reinvigorated in the MCU as a whole, or are you like this is a one-off?
I think it's a one-off. Just
But
because.
are you more reinvigorated in the MCU?
No, but I'm not less.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm
get
stagnant. I say the same.
I said, sorry. I said if this was a bad film, I would be like done.
Yeah, for sure. But I think this one is a one-off for me, just because it's written and directed by James Gunn, which is not the case for any other Marvel movie. They are like written by so many people. There's so many minds attached to it, but this is one clear vision, and I think that's why it works so well. And that's why I don't have faith. It doesn't like what?
Sorry, did you see the thing? I can never say her name. America Chavez's actress said, "I'll stop blaming." I can't remember his name. The guy who wrote Doctor Strange 2. He had to make 36 rewrites of the script.
Right. That's exactly like
she said that, and I'm like, oh wow, that's like a lot of.
Yeah, that's insane. And I don't think it should. That's I think one of the biggest flaws of these Marvel movies now is that they're just so like constantly being meddled with.
Yeah. Anyway, final question: Is this the greatest superhero trilogy of all time?
Yes.
Quick answer: I agree.
This is the first sentence after here's my review on Guardians 3. This is the best.
Is it?
Yeah. I actually have another question for you.
Go
on. So Bradley Cooper was cast as Rocket Raccoon, and it took him a couple of voices to get the first get like the voice of Rocket. Do you know what the first voice of his was?
No.
It sounded a little bit like this. Mamma mia! I'm Pizza Pie. My name is Rocket Raccoon.
Mamma mia, tonight you will find a turd in your pillow. You go, oh, what's this? It's something squishy. I put one of Drax's turds there. Oh, mamma mia. Mamma mia, Pete, I am done running. Mamma mia.
We did good.
We did good. Would you think it would be worth doing that, redoing the best superhero trilogy thing we did a while ago? We haven't had that many more though, have we?
Just no, yeah. Maybe we need to wait. Like,
and
what's the next trilogy that?
Like Spider-Man, Spider-Verse.
Oh, Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yeah,
we'll do that for when Deadpool comes out.
Because we've got Ant-Man and now. Which one's better? Who knows?
If Deadpool 3 is as good as the first two, I think it'll be a contender for. Ooh,
100% no. Deadpool's fine. They're pretty.
Oh, I know you're not a fan of Deadpool.
You're saying the Deadpool films are as good as the Guardians of the Galaxy films because that is bananas. If you think that, you need to go and rewatch the Deadpool films.
I think first Deadpool is better than Spider-Man: Homecoming, and the second Deadpool is better than Far From Home. And if the third one is better than No Way Home, then I think it's
so like you think the MCU Spider-Man trilogy is second? Not Raimi Spider-Man, Not the Dark.
No. The Dark, um,
Not Ant-Man.
not Ant-Man, not Ant-Man.
Not Captain America.
Captain America is like Captain America and Spider-Man MCU are tied right now for me personally.
Mhm.
Um,
The thing is, the rate we're gaining trilogies, we're also losing trilogies, because by the time Deadpool 3's out, we would have lost Captain America as a trilogy. I get, oh, it's still a trilogy, isn't it? Because it's the Chris Evans trilogy, but you know what I mean? Like we've
yeah,
lost,
no, I get what you mean.
we've lost Thor as a trilogy now.
Unfortunate.
Yes, I don't know.
All right,
So, but
but that is a topic for another day.
I just want to end this podcast with saying Will messaged me saying I can hear your Italian accent through the ceiling.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Adios.
Adios.
Thanks for listening. What are we doing next week?
Boys.
Give me some time to think.
Nick.
Thanks for listening, guys. And on that note, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week to talk about The Boys season 1. Say bye, Harlan.
Bye, Harlan.
Bye.